It's official. In what could become one of the most important legal battles for pensioners in the UK, the Department for Work and Pensions is being taken to court. Just 1 minute ago, news broke that a group of pensioners, backed by legal aid organizations and social justice groups, has launched a formal lawsuit against the DWP. The reason? Alleged wrongful suspension of benefits, unjustified account checks, and serious harm caused by sudden payment blocks, all under the new banking rules quietly introduced over the last year. If you or someone you love is over 60 and receives any form of state pension, pension credit, housing benefit, or any income-related support, what's happening now affects you directly. And this video will explain everything: what the DWP is doing, why it's under legal fire, how this court case could impact your payments, and most importantly, what steps you need to take right now to protect your income. Now, let's begin by looking at the root of the issue. In early 2025, the DWP began rolling out new fraud prevention powers, allowing it to access and monitor claimant bank account data through partnerships with major UK banks. On paper, this was about catching benefit fraud, making sure claimants weren't hiding savings, working undeclared jobs, or living with unreported partners. But in practice, it's turned into a bureaucratic nightmare for thousands of pensioners. These new checks mean that if the name on your bank account doesn't match exactly, or if your payments are being received into a joint account, or even if the system thinks there's a discrepancy, your benefits could be paused automatically. No warning, no call, just silence until you notice the money hasn't come in. The case now in court argues that this system is flawed and unlawful. The lawyers representing affected pensioners say the DWP is punishing people without due process. They claim there's a lack of proper notice, no clear appeals process, and in many cases, no evidence of fraud at all, just administrative misunderstandings. Take the case of John, a 74-year-old veteran from Manchester. He has been receiving pension credit and disability support for years without issue. In April, his payments stopped. When he called the DWP, they said it was because the account his money went into was jointly held with his late wife, and the system flagged it as suspicious. John was devastated. He had no idea what was wrong. He didn't even know about the new rules. He submitted the documents they requested, including a copy of her death certificate and proof of identity. Weeks passed with no response. His council tax went unpaid. His phone was cut off, and by the time the payments were restored, he was £300 in debt and had to visit a food bank for the first time in his life. Sadly, John's story isn't unique. Across the country, similar reports are flooding in. Pensioners losing access to vital support due to technicalities they never even knew about. And that's where this court case begins to matter. Because for the first time, pensioners are being heard at a national level. They are not just filing complaints or calling hotlines. They are taking legal action to demand fairness, transparency, and respect. So, what exactly are the legal arguments? The case claims the DWP is breaking administrative law by suspending benefit without proper notice or investigation. It also questions whether these actions breach human right protections, particularly the right to a fair hearing and the right to dignity in later life. The legal team is asking for a judicial review, which could force the DWP to pause its use of automated suspension based on bank data alone, restore payments to affected pensioners pending proper review, introduce a clear, written warning system with reasonable time to respond, potentially compensate individuals for financial harm caused. Now, let's talk impact. If this court rules in favor of pensioners, thousands of cases may need to be reopened, and we could see sweeping reform across the DWP's benefit review system. It may also lead to a new set of legal safeguards, ensuring that no one's payments are stopped without at least a formal letter, a time window to appeal, and, crucially, human review. But until that verdict comes, what can you do? Step 1. Check your bank details. Make sure the account your benefits are paid into is solely in your name, or that the DWP is aware of any joint arrangements and has approved them. If you've recently changed accounts, updated your name, or started using someone else's account, even with good reason, you must inform the DWP immediately. Step 2. Gather your documents. If you received any letters from the DWP, bank statements, or forms related to benefit reviews, keep them all in one folder. Write down the names and times of any calls you make. These will be invaluable if your payments are questioned. Step 3. Get support. Organizations like Citizens Advice, Age UK, and local benefit advisory services are trained to help you understand and respond to DWP communications. Don't suffer in silence or assume you've done something wrong. Step 4. If your benefits are being stopped unfairly, appeal. You have the right to request a mandatory reconsideration, and if that fails, to escalate to an independent tribunal. Legal aid is available in many cases. Now, let's zoom out a bit. Why is this happening now? And why are pensioners, in particular, being affected? Part of the answer lies in automation. The DWP has moved heavily toward digital systems and AI-based fraud detection. These systems look for patterns and red flags in data, but they don't understand context. They don't know that you moved banks because your old one closed. They don't know that your daughter helps manage your finances because you have arthritis. And they certainly don't know what it feels like to be 80 years old and scared because your only income just vanished. It's a system designed for efficiency, but not for empathy. And that's what this court case is about. It's about putting people before processes, rights before rules, and fairness before fast-tracking. The court will hear evidence from pensioners, social workers, support organizations, and legal experts. It could take weeks before a decision is announced, but the pressure is already having an effect. Just this morning, opposition MPs called for a full review of DWP benefit suspension procedures. Petitions are circulating. News channels are picking up the story. The spotlight is finally on. And if you're watching this, you're already ahead of the curve. Because now you know what's happening, how it could affect you, and what you can do to protect yourself and your loved ones. So here's your action plan. Review your benefits and bank account setup this week. Save every letter, call log, and message from the DWP. Seek help early if something seems off. Stay informed by subscribing to this channel, UK Pension Desk. Share this video with friends and family. You could save someone a major financial shock. Before we close, let me say this. To all the pensioners out there watching, this fight matters. You matter. You built this country. You paid into the system. And you deserve dignity, not digital silence. This court case is just a beginning. We will keep covering every update, breaking down legal rulings, explaining what it means in simple terms, and giving you the tools to take control. Your voice is powerful. Your experience is valid. And together, pensioners across the UK are showing that when something is unfair, you don't just have to accept it. Stay safe, stay aware, and stay with us here on UK Pension Desk, your source for honest updates, practical help, and a community that cares.